Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Realistic Realtors with Superior Coaching School. I'm Nick. This is Bill. We're in lesson 19 today and talking about staging. But you know what makes us different, Bill? We're old school and new school. We put plans into action. And so everything we teach you today, we're going to teach you to put into play right away to build your business. So I want to start today with a quote from Barbara Corcoran. And as we know, if you guys have ever seen Shark Tank, she's a huge agent up in New York, and she says that home staging is no longer optional in today's real estate market. It's a must.
Yeah, absolutely. And, she's a huge agent, right? She's a monster agent. Let's take her advice, because what are buyers expecting today? They're expecting move-in ready homes, Nick. That's what they see. Over the years, watching HDTV, HGTV is even really kind of, we discover what's trendy, right? Our buyers almost come and say, we want that house, right? Right now in this market, Nick, what do they want? They want everything gray walls, white granite or quartz, white kitchen cabinets, a darker floors, right?
Stainless steel appliances.
Stainless steel. And all that is about what? It's all about staging, right? First impressions, Nick, right? Huge in real estate. And with first impressions, where does it start? It starts on the internet. That's the first impression. What are you going to be more impressed with, Nick? An empty house or a house that is furnished and staged?
Well, I think a lot of buyers, they want to visualize, right? They want to be able to see that the home could be, I'm going to say this way. They want to see that the house can become their home. And the reason why I say it like that is because, you see a house that's empty, it doesn't feel like home.
Sure.
So when you have the furniture in there, it makes you realize, oh, well, this is where I'm going to put my TV. This is where I'll put the couches. This is where we'll watch movies with the kids. This is where I'll tuck in, little Jimmy, right? Like, it makes it feel like they can really relate to it and make that big financial decision.
Right, because sometimes you're out there showing a house, you bring a buyer in, and the house is empty, you'll hear them say, I don't know if my furniture will fit this way. Do you think the couch would go in this wall or in that wall? So what you're basically saying, Nick, is it helps with the buyer visualizing what the house will look like. When they walk in, they'll see right away trendy furniture, which is real important. I was just discussing earlier today that, when I go to sell my house, I am definitely going to hire a stager. I've only been in my house 8 years, Nick, but guess what? The furniture is outdated already. It's not trendy. Yeah. So hiring a stager, one, will help the buyer visualize how the house should be laid out. Two, it'll be very trendy furniture. The buyer will be like, oh, I love that piece. Like, they envision like, oh, I want to get new furniture. I need to upgrade the furniture that I have because I want my house to look like this house. So right away, it's also going to make the house more desirable.
Yeah, and doesn't it also help the buyer when they're looking at a room and how big the room is? Not everyone walks in with a measuring tape, right? But does it not also help when you walk into a room and your furniture there to say, oh, wow, I can fit 2 couches here and a love seat and put
the spatial layout.
Exactly. So speak a little bit to that. Give us an example when you walked in to a home with a buyer and said, they said, well, do you really think this could fit, this much furniture in there? And that kind of helps.
Yeah, they'll be surprised. Now, a lot of times stagers, Nick, will use smaller furniture, makes the house look bigger. But when you stage a house to that point, it'll make the rooms look bigger, and they will visualize, hey, something, we actually fit our dining room table in this room. We can actually make this room our office. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we walked into an empty house and they didn't like it. And I go down the street, show them the same layout, right? As we know here in North Carolina, a lot of communities have 1 or 6 different builders and they build the same model over and over. And they love the house that was staged.
Yeah.
They could visualize the layout. They could visualize the spatial portion of it. I agree with you. Without a doubt, it will help buyers visualize proportionally how each room will be laid out.
And you know what? It makes you just feel like when you have an empty house, it makes you feel a little bit like as you're walking in, like there's a lot of work to be done, right? Sure. So it kind of helps prepare them for what they're going to have to do when they're moving because it feels more homey, right?
Absolutely.
So let's take a look here at a couple different reasons, again, why you'd want to stage your home. And I want to take it back to the pictures. As you said, with the first impression, right? You'll make more money and you have more value because the whole point is that if you have bad pictures, and again, more and more buyers are looking online. 50% of home buyers saw the home or bought the home that they first saw online. So the first impression of the online pictures makes a huge difference. So how important is it, Bill, just for those pictures online, to tell your photographer as well to highlight that staged furniture?
Without a doubt. So like you said, the first time we get to see this home, we get to see it staged. We get to see the furniture, right? The pictures online with everything set up compared to an empty house. That will spark the interest. Then they'll make the appointment to see the house. So when you have an empty house, it doesn't help with even people making appointments. It's not even on their short list of houses to see. I've seen clients that actually go see a house because they like the furniture in the kitchen, or they like the furniture in the living room.
So that kind of takes us actually to virtual staging, because we've seen now in the market more and more realtors going with the virtual option, where there are companies out there that will virtually stage different rooms. They'll Photoshop furniture essentially onto the pictures. And I've actually had a client that saw a home, like you said, they want to go see this home, I think primarily because it was staged online, and then we show up and it's completely empty. They're almost disappointed.
Oh, yeah, they are. But they'll think a lot of times, oh, they must have moved out. So in my opinion, if you have no staging, virtual staging, or real staging, we'll go with at least virtual staging. And if that doesn't work, then go with the real staging, okay? With the real staging, it's real life examples. Like you said, when you bring someone to a house, they use virtual staging, and then they walk in, the house is empty, they are disappointed. So there's nothing like the real staging to bring pique clients' interest to the house.
Yeah, because the first impression, I think, goes beyond just seeing the home online. It's also when you walk in the front door. You open that door, and it just feels like home. Like a lot of buyers you'll see out there, they will decide whether this is the right home for them within the first 10 seconds, right? They'll immediately know this is the one.
Without a doubt, Nick, it sells faster. Your house will sell faster as staged. I'll give you a personal example. So I had 10 rental properties I sold in the last 2 years. And Nick, I didn't take my own advice, right? Because they were lower price point, about $200,000. And I finally hired a stager from my last house. And it cost about $2,600 to stage the downstairs, the living room, dining room, office, and kitchen. Mm-hmm. But Nick, it looked amazing. So all the other houses took about a month to sell. I got about, 5% off asking price. The stage house, I got full price, sold it in 3 days. So I didn't have to carry the mortgage and insurance and taxes, for an extra month.
So the money
and I got more money.
So the money you saved by getting it sold faster probably paid for the staging.
Oh, absolutely.
And then some.
Yeah, staging a house, in my experience, and stats will tell us too, that you're going to sell the house faster.
Yeah, you want to go to the next slide?
Sure.
And show them some of those statistics. And so you see here on the left side and on the right side. So the left side is more towards the consumers and what they see as what's important. Is you can see that 83% of all buyers said that staging helped them visualize this as their next home. And again, this really taps into the emotional side of it, right? Just the emotional attachment. Can I see my family living here? That helped with 83% of buyers. And you see on the right side with agents, you saw that 50% of agents saw the value of the home go up.
Yep.
And 60% of the agents, listing agents, said that staging helped decrease the days on market for their listings. That's a big percentage.
And I'll tell you from personal experience, if I take a client out, we look at 5 homes, okay? Let's say call it 10 homes, and they pick 3 of their favorite homes. I will guarantee you that 3 of those homes, if they're not staged, people are still living in them, they're furnished. Hardly ever is it that empty house.
Yeah.
I have clients, Nick, that will move. And I'll say to them, where are you moving? Well, we're moving to Seattle. We're not going to buy anything right now. We're going to go into rental. We're going to put a lot of furniture into storage. I'll be like, great, listen, let's keep the furniture in the house. We'll have a better chance of selling that house with the furniture in that house. I have a client right now that's going to move to Vegas, and they're going to move in with their in-laws for like 6, 7, 8 months. I was like, well, can we keep your furniture here? They're like, sure, no problem. And if they have to take their furniture, please have your photographer come over and take pictures of the house before the furniture comes out.
Yes, exactly. That's a big part of it.
This is just me supporting that you have to stage if you're a realtor and you want to have success selling the house. Obviously, if there's furniture there, if it's that outdated, I just told you, I'm going to sell my house in the next year. The furniture's only 8 years old. Guess what? it's not cool and trendy anymore. I'm even going to use a stager. And sometimes, Nick, that's a little hard because you have to approach your client and say, hey, I think you should stage. And what's that do? It's almost like, hey, we don't like your furniture, right? So you have to handle it, very delicately.
Yeah. Well, let's review a little bit. You definitely want to list to last. We have to do that. So when we're listing, staging is an important part of this. So if we're looking at our action steps, if you get a listing and you really want to get the most value for it and decrease the amount of days it's on the market, you got to look at a good staging option. Again, we've discussed a couple of different options. There is virtual staging out there, but the first impression cannot be understated enough. When someone walks in that door, they can view it as the home that they want to buy and they want to live in. And spend many years in. So I think what's important to remember is that when you are staging, the pictures are so important. Make sure that even if you're not maybe going to get staging, but you have clients that are moving out, take the pictures before the home is completely cleared. Because as you mentioned, if I'm looking online and the rooms are empty, it's so hard to judge big and it's hard to judge how big the rooms are.
Sure.
Especially the bedrooms, because I think the bedrooms are the most misleading. Because a lot of times the photographer will take as wide angle as they can, but it's hard to tell, can I fit a king size bed in here with all the furniture and the layout? And a lot of people have very specific specifications for their layout, so make sure that you incorporate staging into your presentation.
And also, staging doesn't have to be about just, here, we need to pull out your furniture and stick in new furniture. A stager will come in, and it's really important to start working with a stager if you're a realtor, and have that stager come over and walk through the house with your client. That gives you, something else that you're offering your client, and it just might be, some flower arrangements, some artwork on the walls, some little knickknacks around the house. That's part of staging also. It's not like we have to pull all the furniture out of your house. We just have to make it look right for the photographer and bring it up to date and make it more trendy.
Yeah, sometimes a consultation is all they need.
That's all they need.
So,
and you can offer that as a realtor.
Yeah.
You can pay for that consultation.
Yeah, and it's a value add that you can provide. So it's something we can do in-house, right?
Sure.
So again, I think that's, we can't understate the value of staging enough. So we actually are going to bring in your stager. And she's going to come and give us some amazing value and tell us all about more detail on staging.
And the important thing that we're bringing Kelly into the mix here is when you hire a stager, hire a company. There's a lot of people out there that go into staging and they have this little 8x10 storage unit they rent at the U-Haul place. That's kind of hobby for them. When I went down and first met Kelly, and she had a warehouse, I felt like I was in a furniture store. She's like, oh no, we have 30 different dining rooms.
You're like walking through IKEA, yeah.
Yeah, we have like 40 different living room sets. That's the stager that you want to use. Hire someone, okay, that does it for a living, that is, their passion, not someone's hobby.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you guys enjoy this video and this content from Kelly. We're going to stick around and see you next week.
See you guys next week.